Taming the Mind's Tempest. 10 Stoic Strategies to Conquer Overthinking. Reclaiming Your Mental Citadel. Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher-emperor, wisely stated, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This powerful affirmation serves as a beacon of hope for those of us who have felt the sting of overthinking, the relentless mental chatter that can lead to indecision, anxiety, and a profound sense of being trapped within our own minds. We've all been there, replaying conversations, anticipating future outcomes, and wrestling with an endless stream of what-ifs that threaten to overwhelm us. This exploration will delve into 10 practical Stoic strategies designed to help you conquer overthinking, break free from its cyclical grip, and reclaim your mental space. This isn't about suppressing your thoughts or striving for a perpetually blank mind. It's about developing the awareness and the tools to manage your thoughts effectively, to prevent them from spiraling out of control and dictating your emotional state. By embracing these time-tested principles, you can cultivate a more resilient, focused, and peaceful inner world. Prepare to embark on a transformative journey, one that empowers you to take control of your thoughts and live a life guided by reason, purpose, and inner tranquility. The following strategies are not mere coping mechanisms. They're powerful tools for cultivating a more resilient, focused, and peaceful inner world, allowing you to navigate the complexities of life with greater clarity and composure. 10 Stoic strategies to overcome overthinking. Visualize overthinking as an external force. Overthinking can creep up on you unexpectedly, like a dense fog rolling in on what began as a clear day. It often starts as a single worry or idea, but quickly expands, enveloping your thoughts and potentially knocking you off your feet. This is a prevalent struggle in today's fast-paced world, where information bombards us relentlessly, like hail in a storm. Our minds become overcrowded with thoughts of what if, what next, or what could have been. Marcus Aurelius, the Stoic philosopher king, astutely observed, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." This profound statement brings us to our first technique, perceiving overthinking as an external force. This isn't about demonizing your thoughts or declaring war on your own mind. It's about recognizing that these thoughts are not the core of who you are. They are often intrusive, unwelcome guests that disrupt your inner peace. Imagine those invasive thoughts as clouds passing over a majestic mountain. You are that mountain, solid, immovable, and unyielding, standing firm as the clouds drift by. So, how does one fend off these mental invaders? Stoicism teaches us to observe without engagement, to acknowledge the presence of the thoughts without allowing them to take root and control our emotions. Imagine placing these troubling thoughts in a bubble and watching them float away, gently drifting into the distance. This mental exercise doesn't merely lessen their weight or intensity. It reinforces the understanding that thoughts are transient, impermanent, and ultimately powerless. They can only disrupt your peace if you actively hold on to them and grant them power. Practicing this visualization technique creates a mental reflex that can help you detach and let these thoughts go before they escalate and build into a mental storm. As you become more adept at distinguishing yourself from this barrage of overthinking, it becomes simpler to recognize that you're not merely the sum of your thoughts. This crucial distinction acts as a protective shield, much like earplugs in a noisy crowd. It's a deliberate and continual effort that grows stronger with consistent, everyday application. Whenever you notice yourself beginning to overthink, consciously pause and picture the troublesome thought as mere noise, unnecessary, intrusive, and separate from who you truly are. By doing this, you're not only actively protecting yourself against the debilitating effects of overthinking, you're also reclaiming your mental territory and restoring your inner peace, one mindful step at a time. This principle is about creating a mental separation between yourself and your thoughts, recognizing that you're not defined by your worries and anxieties. Take control by refocusing your energy. Have you ever found yourself spiraling down a seemingly endless rabbit hole of what-ifs and doomsday scenarios, replaying the same anxieties over and over until you are left mentally exhausted and drained? It's akin to having a multitude of browser tabs open in your mind, each with a video playing at full blast, and you simply cannot find the pause button. This feeling of mental multitasking is a defining characteristic of modern life, with a constant pressure to stay on top of everything can lead to a relentless cycle of overthinking. However, just as a cluttered desk necessitates tidying, a cluttered mind requires the same kind of mindful decluttering. Redirecting your mental energy is not simply about achieving a sense of inner peace. It's about taking back control of your mind and quieting the incessant noise of what could be, allowing you to fully appreciate what is. Seneca, another Stoic sage who effortlessly weaved wisdom into his words, stated, "True happiness is to enjoy the present, without anxious dependence upon the future." This sage advice serves as the cornerstone for taking control by refocusing your energy. To interrupt the cycle of overthinking, begin by deliberately grounding yourself in the present moment. Focus your attention on a specific task, even something seemingly small and insignificant, and consciously channel your energy into completing it with focus and intention. This purposeful shift in focus pulls you out of the swirling whirlpool of future what-ifs and firmly anchors you in the reality of the present moment. The practical application of this technique is simple yet profoundly effective. Actively engage in an activity that demands your full and undivided attention. This could be something as straightforward as meticulously organizing your workspace, going for a brisk and invigorating walk in nature, or losing yourself in the pages of a captivating book. These acts demand your presence, your awareness, and your focus on the now, not on some imagined tomorrow or some unchangeable yesterday. By consciously commanding your thoughts to align with your actions, you're not merely distracting yourself from your anxieties. You're actively taking command of where your mental energy flows, directing it towards productive and meaningful engagement with the present. Remember, Stoicism isn't about attempting to completely suppress your thoughts or banish them from your mind. It's about actively managing them, acknowledging their presence without allowing them to dictate your actions or control your emotions. By carefully choosing where to invest your mental energy, you are effectively practicing a form of mental discipline, training your mind to focus on what is within your control and to let go of what is not. The ultimate goal is not to avoid overthinking entirely. That is an unrealistic expectation given the complexities of human existence. Rather, the goal is to develop the ability to recognize when your thoughts are not serving you and to possess the tools and strategies to consciously redirect them towards more constructive and beneficial pursuits. Think of it as training a muscle. The more you consistently exercise this power of refocusing, the stronger and more resilient your mind will become. You will gradually find that the once overwhelming tide of overthinking can be tamed, wave by deliberate wave, with purposeful action and a steadfast commitment to living in the present moment. This principle is about actively directing your attention to the present moment and engaging in activities that require your focus, thereby interrupting the cycle of overthinking. Embrace impermanence and practice letting go. Let's face it, our minds often get stuck in repetitive loops, constantly rehashing past events or fretting over the possibilities of the future. This mental space becomes the playground of overthinking, where troublesome thoughts become sticky, clinging to our minds far longer than they are welcome. This is a challenge that affects individuals from all walks of life, regardless of their background or current circumstances. It affects students worried about upcoming exams, professionals stressed about impending presentations, and even those simply trying to fall asleep at night while their minds are racing at 100 miles an hour. Amidst this mental marathon, we can find a source of solace and grounding in the words of Epictetus, who reminds us, "He who fears death will never do anything worth a man who is alive." Now, while this quote might initially seem a bit heavy or overly dramatic, it is fundamentally about the overarching concept of impermanence, which is absolutely central to the core tenets of Stoicism. Everything, without exception, is subject to change, and this includes the very thoughts that seem so persistent and overwhelming in our minds. When we are caught in the throes of overthinking, we often cling to our thoughts as if they are permanent fixtures in our lives, solid and immutable. Embracing impermanence, however, means fundamentally understanding that thoughts, like everything else in the universe, are constantly coming and going, appearing and disappearing. They are not eternal, not fixed, and not necessarily representative of any objective reality. This simple insight can serve as a beacon of hope, a source of profound relief, when you find yourself ensnared by the insidious grip of overthinking. Practically embracing impermanence means actively cultivating a consistent habit of letting go. This is a kind of mental decluttering, a conscious and deliberate release of thoughts that no longer serve you, thoughts that are hindering your progress and disrupting your inner peace. There are a variety of ways you can actively practice this. You might try visualizing a flowing river, where each troublesome thought is represented by a single leaf floating along the water surface, drifting further and further away from you. Or perhaps you prefer to visualize your thoughts as clouds, ever-changing, constantly reshaping, and eventually moving on and dissolving into the vast expanse of the sky. These types of visualizations not only provide a sense of immediate relief from the intensity of overthinking, but they also instill a deeper and more fundamental understanding that the very nature of thought is to change, to shift, and to eventually fade away. Making this practice a regular part of your daily routine can profoundly transform your entire relationship with your thoughts. It's not about violently forcing them out of your mind or suppressing them completely. It's rather about gently allowing them to leave, releasing them without resistance or attachment. Letting go is not synonymous with giving up. Rather, it's an act of profound courage, a testament to your inner strength. It means you're consciously choosing to not allow redundant, unhelpful thoughts to rent space in your head rent-free, occupying valuable mental resources that could be better used for more productive and fulfilling pursuits. As you become more skilled at this practice, you will begin to notice a newfound sense of mental space opening up within you, a quietness that was always there, but had been hidden beneath the incessant noise of overthinking. Ultimately, embracing impermanence isn't just a simple technique. It's a fundamental shift in perspective, a conscious choice to move towards a more peaceful, grounded, and present way of living. This principle is about recognizing the fleeting nature of thoughts and emotions and practicing the art of letting go of those that do not serve you. Create a worry period. It is a common human experience to have worries nagging at the back of our minds, persistent and ever-present like the constant hum of a refrigerator. Always there, sometimes barely noticeable, but unmistakably present nonetheless. These underlying worries have the potential to hijack our thoughts at any hour of the day or night. Often when we're trying to concentrate on work, enjoy quality time with friends and family, or even when we are simply trying to drift off to sleep. It's as if our mind is a grand stage, and these persistent concerns are the uninvited actors who simply refuse to leave, constantly vying for our attention. But consider this wisdom from the Stoic teacher Epictetus. If you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid. At first glance, this quote may seem somewhat off track or unrelated to the immediate topic. However, it serves as a bold and direct reminder to prioritize our inner peace and mental well-being over succumbing to worry and fear of seeming complacent or naive in the eyes of others. Creating a dedicated worry period is a strategic and intentional way to give these nagging concerns their moment on the mental stage, to acknowledge their presence without allowing them to dominate our entire lives. It's about giving them a specific and limited platform, rather than allowing them to roam freely and wreak havoc on our thoughts throughout the day. Set aside a specific time each day, perhaps 20 or 30 minutes in the afternoon or early evening, when you are allowed to give these persistent worries your full and undivided attention. During this designated time, Intentionally dive into your worries, scrutinizing them, understanding their underlying roots, and perhaps even jotting them down in a journal. Ask yourself, what am I really worried about? How likely are these negative scenarios to actually occur? And what, if anything, can I realistically do about them? This focused and deliberate session often reveals that many of our worries are like fleeting shadows, seemingly large and menacing, but ultimately lacking in substance and easily dispelled when confronted directly. This process also teaches your mind that there's an appropriate time and a specific place for worry, and it is certainly not all day, every day, consuming your every waking moment. Then, when the designated worry period comes to an end, consciously and intentionally move on. You've given your worries their allotted time and attention, and now you must consciously put them aside, compartmentalizing them until their next scheduled appearance. By approaching your worries in this structured and intentional manner, you can gradually regain control over your day, preventing your anxieties from dictating your actions and emotions. The ultimate goal is not to completely eliminate worrying altogether. That is likely an impossible feat given the nature of the human mind and the inherent uncertainties of life. Rather, the goal is to contain your worries, to manage them effectively, and to dramatically reduce their overall impact on your daily life and your sense of well-being. This technique is akin to tidying your mental room, assigning each troubling thought its designated place and time, and then enjoying the ensuing tranquility and spaciousness of an ordered and organized mind. Over time, you will likely find that your worries lose much of their power when they are no longer allowed to roam freely and dominate your thoughts, and life will become a bit lighter, a bit more manageable, and a bit more enjoyable. This principle is about setting aside a specific time to acknowledge and process your worries, rather than allowing them to consume your thoughts throughout the day. Break down overwhelming thoughts into actionable steps. When overthinking strikes with full force, it can often feel as though we are carrying the immense weight of an enormous boulder on our shoulders. The perceived size and severity of our worries seems to perfectly match the crushing weight of the world, and we are left pinned under the heavy cloud of our own intrusive and relentless thoughts. This overwhelming sensation is not unique to any one individual. It's a shared human condition, something that nearly everyone experiences at some point in their lives. However, it can be exacerbated in a world that places extraordinary demands on our time and energy and seemingly requires high performance in all areas of life: work, relationships, personal growth, and social status. The constant pressure to excel, to achieve, and to meet ever-increasing expectations can often paralyze us with indecision, fuel our anxieties, and leave us trapped in a cycle of overthinking and inaction. Serving as a guiding light through this dense fog of overthinking, Marcus Aurelius once offered the profound observation: the impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. This seemingly paradoxical insight forms the bedrock of our fifth technique, transforming overwhelming thoughts into small, manageable, and ultimately actionable steps. When your mind is racing with a big worry, a complex problem, or an overwhelming task, the key is to consciously slice it down into smaller, more digestible pieces. Don't try to tackle the entire problem at once. Instead, focus on identifying the very next step that you can realistically take right now, in this moment. Don't concern yourself with all 5, 10, or 20 steps that might lie further down the line. Simply focus on that immediate next action that you can take to move forward. This focus on just one small, actionable step may initially seem trivial or insufficient, but it is actually a remarkably powerful antidote to the paralysis of overthinking. By focusing your energy on a single, concrete action, you are effectively redirecting your mental resources away from the unproductive cycle of worrying and towards the productive realm of doing. It's a bit like untangling a giant knot. You don't try to pull it apart all at once. You work on patiently untangling one small section at a time. In employing this technique, you aren't dismissing the inherent complexity of your underlying concerns. You are simply choosing to navigate through them with purpose, precision, and a deliberate sense of forward momentum. The remarkable beauty of this technique lies in its fundamental simplicity and its profound effectiveness. Each small step you take, however seemingly insignificant, builds momentum and fosters a sense of progress. And as you look back, you will often realize that the seemingly insurmountable boulder of worry has gradually been transformed into a much more manageable pile of pebbles, and you have successfully traversed the once daunting landscape, one confident step at a time. This method cultivates patience, resilience, and a sense of trust in your own ability to confront challenges head-on and to ultimately overcome them. Suddenly, what once seemed insurmountable and overwhelming is behind you, and your persistent overthinking is replaced with a profound sense of accomplishment and renewed clarity of mind. This principle is about breaking down overwhelming problems into smaller, manageable steps and focusing on taking action, rather than getting lost in the cycle of worry. Shift your perspective to gratitude. Our minds can be remarkably tricky and prone to falling into familiar traps. They often lure us into a self-made maze of overthinking about what we lack, what could potentially go wrong, or what we have yet to achieve in the future. This becomes a relentless loop that can leave us feeling emotionally drained, profoundly discontent, and increasingly anxious. Overthinking often stems from an excessive focus on the perceived negatives or the not-yet aspects of life, effectively overshadowing the inherent good that is already present and readily available to us. Seneca, with his characteristic wisdom, once said, "True happiness is to enjoy the present without anxious dependence upon the future." This nugget of Stoic wisdom is nothing short of a direct call to consciously shift our perspective away from a sense of perceived lack and toward a profound appreciation for the inherent abundance in our lives. It is a call to pivot away from unproductive overthinking and embrace the transformative power of gratitude. It's about intentionally recognizing the immense value of the present moment and acknowledging the countless blessings, both big and small, that we often habitually overlook when we are too preoccupied with worrying about what is yet to come. The active practice of gratitude pulls us out of the well-worn ruts of our anxious minds and plants us firmly in the rich and fertile soil of the now, where life is actually unfolding and where genuine fulfillment can be found. To effectively make this critical shift in perspective, start by consciously acknowledging three things, however seemingly small or insignificant, for which you are genuinely grateful each day. These expressions of gratitude don't need to be grandiose or elaborate. They simply need to be genuine and heartfelt. It could be something as simple as a delicious cup of coffee enjoyed in the morning, the comforting warmth of your favorite hoodie on a chilly day, or a kind and supportive message received from a friend. This seemingly simple and straightforward practice can quickly pivot your mind away from the habitual cycle of overthinking and towards a deeper and more profound sense of appreciation for what is demonstrably right and good in your life right now. By consistently anchoring yourself in a state of gratitude, you're not only effectively silencing the incessant noise of overthinking, you are also enriching your daily experience and cultivating a deeper sense of contentment. The practice of gratitude magnifies the positive aspects of our lives and can slowly but surely transform our internal dialogue from one of scarcity and anxious anticipation to one of abundance, appreciation, and genuine fulfillment. Over time, this newly cultivated perspective can fundamentally change how you approach the inevitable challenges of life, transforming them into opportunities to further recognize and appreciate what is already good and valuable in your world. This is not merely about feeling a little better in the moment, although that is certainly a welcome side effect. It's about building a solid and unwavering foundation of contentment that can sustain you through the inevitable ups and downs that life throws your way. This principle is about consciously focusing on the positive aspects of your life and cultivating a sense of gratitude for what you have, rather than dwelling on what you lack or what could go wrong. Focus on effort, not outcome. Overthinking is often the direct result of our mind's incessant dance with the future, its potential outcomes, its worst-case scenarios, and its relentless possibilities of failure and disappointment. This projection into the future can paralyze us with fear and inaction, as we become increasingly obsessed over the potential consequences of our actions, rather than focusing on the actions themselves. We live in an outcome-driven society, where the ends often justify the means, and this societal pressure can insidiously lead us to believe that if the outcome is uncertain or potentially unfavorable, then the journey is simply not worth embarking on. Yet, a timeless and insightful Stoic quote by Epictetus provides us with a clear and direct directive. Don't explain your philosophy. Embody it. Stoicism teaches us to focus our attention and energy on our efforts and intentions, rather than obsessing over the outcomes, which are often largely outside of our direct control. This does not mean that we should abandon setting goals altogether or cease to aspire to achieve great things in our lives. What it does mean is that the true value, the lasting significance, lies in the quality of our effort, the integrity of our actions, and the virtue with which we choose to navigate our chosen path. To effectively apply this transformative technique in your own life, whenever you find yourself spiraling into a cycle of overthinking about the potential results of your efforts, consciously and deliberately redirect your thoughts and attention back to the effort itself. Ask yourself the following questions. Am I doing my best? Am I acting with good intentions? Am I staying true to my core values in this process? This purposeful approach is about being fully present in the process, putting in the necessary work, and then consciously recognizing and accepting that your responsibility ultimately ends there. This steadfast focus on effort, rather than outcome, can liberate us from the stifling chains of overthinking. It allows us to be fully present in the moment, to give our best without the heavy shadow of what could be darkening and diminishing our experience. It transforms our actions from mere steps toward the desired outcome into powerful expressions of our character and our unwavering commitment to living a life of virtue. With this simple yet profound shift in focus, you will discover that your chosen path is no longer merely a means to a desired end, but rather a powerful embodiment of living with purpose, where each deliberate step taken is an accomplishment in and of itself. This principle is about shifting your focus from the potential outcomes of your actions to the effort and intention you put into them, freeing you from the anxiety of control. Practice voluntary discomfort. Our minds often lead us into a self-constructed whirlpool of overthinking when faced with even the slightest potential for discomfort or change. We replay various scenarios over and over in our heads, trying to predict every possible outcome and meticulously preparing for every conceivable discomfort or inconvenience. This relentless mental rehearsal can be utterly exhausting and ultimately unproductive. Gradually, the familiar comfort zone becomes more like a mental prison, where personal growth is stunted and the debilitating cycle of overthinking becomes the self-appointed warden. Marcus Aurelius, with his characteristic insightful perspective, once remarked, "The art of living is more like wrestling than dancing." This profound statement directly reflects the Stoic practice of engaging with life's inevitable challenges head-on, rather than attempting to avoid them at all costs. By deliberately practicing voluntary discomfort, we can train our minds to effectively handle uncertainty and dramatically reduce the tendency to overthink potential negative outcomes. It's about consciously choosing small actions that take us, however briefly, outside of our well-worn comfort zones, teaching us resilience, adaptability, and a greater capacity to handle the inevitable challenges that life throws our way. To integrate this powerful practice in a modern life, start with something relatively small and manageable. Consider taking a cold shower in the morning, sleeping without a pillow for a night, or intentionally choosing to walk or cycle instead of driving your car. In essence, do something that purposefully disrupts your normal routine and then consciously sit with whatever feelings, both physical and emotional, that arise without succumbing to judgment or attempting to suppress them. Remember, this isn't about self-punishment or engaging in masochistic behavior. It's about consciously showing yourself that discomfort isn't nearly as scary or unbearable as your overthinking mind might lead you to believe. Paradoxically, the practice of voluntary discomfort has the surprising effect of increasing your overall comfort with the various aspects of life. By routinely and intentionally stepping into what feels unfamiliar and uncomfortable, the unfamiliar gradually becomes familiar, and the mind gradually learns to quieten its anxious chatter and resist the urge to overthink. It becomes less reactive to change, less fearful of uncertainty, and more focused on what can be directly controlled: your own thoughts, actions, and responses. This powerful shift in perspective not only lessens the tendency to overthink, but also builds a resilient core of inner strength that remains largely unshaken by the inevitable ebbs and flows of life circumstances. This principle is about intentionally stepping outside of your comfort zone to build resilience and reduce your fear of the unknown, thereby lessening the tendency to overthink potential negative outcomes. Reflect on the transience of life. When we are caught in the midst of a particularly intense storm of overthinking, it is often because we have inadvertently zoomed in too closely on the minute details of our lives, losing sight of the much larger picture and failing to recognize the grander context in which our experiences unfold. Our thoughts become a tangled mess of "what if this happens?" or "what if that doesn't work out?", causing us to lose perspective and magnify the significance of relatively minor concerns. This microscopic and intensely focused view can make even the smallest of issues appear insurmountable, effectively consuming our mental space and draining our precious energy. Seneca, with his characteristic eloquence, once wrote, "We are not given a short life, but we make it short, and we are not ill-supplied, but wasteful of it." This poignant reminder encourages us to reflect on the fleeting and precious nature of our existence. Each moment that we spend consumed by unproductive overthinking is a moment not fully lived, a slice of life not fully savored, and an opportunity lost to engage meaningfully with the world around us. Stoicism gently prompts us to regularly ask ourselves whether the specific worries that are currently consuming our thoughts will hold any real weight or significance in the grand timeline of our lives, a week from now, a month from now, or a year from now. To effectively counteract the debilitating effects of overthinking, then we should consciously and regularly take a step back from the immediate details of our lives and consider our existence in its entirety, acknowledging both its beauty and its brevity. Recognize that many of the things that are currently consuming our thoughts are, in the grand scheme of things, transient and ultimately insignificant. When you feel overwhelmed by your thoughts, consciously pause and remind yourself that life is fleeting, impermanent, and precious. Then, ask yourself honestly whether this particular moment of overthinking is truly worthy of the limited and valuable time that you have been given. By thoughtfully contemplating the transience of life, we naturally prioritize our experiences and concerns, directing our attention towards what truly matters and releasing our grip on that which ultimately lacks significance. This is not a call to become morose, indifferent, or apathetic. It is rather a call to cherish the present moment, to cultivate a deep appreciation for the here and now, and to deliberately diminish the overwhelming weight of future-focused anxieties. Let the ephemeral nature of life not be a source of further anxiety and stress, but rather a blank canvas on which you actively choose to paint with the vivid and vibrant colors of presence, gratitude, and engaged living. This principle is about gaining perspective on your worries by reflecting on the fleeting nature of life and prioritizing what truly matters. Seek wisdom from outside yourself. Our own minds can sometimes feel like intricate and confusing mazes, where each turn we take seems to lead to even more confusion and overthinking, rather than offering a clear path forward. We try desperately to solve a complex puzzle, only to find that the pieces keep inexplicably multiplying, leaving us feeling utterly stuck and increasingly frustrated. This accurately describes the core problem of overthinking, a self-perpetuating cycle that starts and ends within the confines of our own thoughts, often without any clear or easily discernible exit. Seneca, a man celebrated throughout history for his profound wisdom, offered a simple yet powerful antidote. Consult your friend on everything, especially on those matters concerning yourself. His counsel may then be useful where your own self-love might impair your judgment. These simple words encapsulate a profound truth that can help us navigate the stormy seas of overthinking and ultimately find our way back to calmer waters. Stoicism teaches us that actively seeking insightful guidance and fresh perspectives from outside of ourselves can effectively break the self-referential cycle of rumination that characterizes overthinking. This can take many forms, including seeking the fresh perspective of a trusted friend, requesting the impartial advice of an experienced mentor, or immersing ourselves in the timeless wisdom found in literature. To effectively apply this technique in a modern context, intentionally seek out people whose opinions you genuinely trust and respect. This could be someone from your close social circle, a family member, or a professional with a specific experience and expertise to effectively guide you. Sharing your troubling thoughts and persistent worries with trusted individuals can be helpful in a number of ways. First, it provides valuable clarity as you are forced to articulate the often nebulous and confusing thoughts swirling around in your mind. Second, it opens the door for receiving objective feedback and alternative perspectives that you may have completely missed while trapped in the throes of overthinking. However, this technique offers much more than simply providing practical solutions to specific problems. It also serves as a powerful reminder that genuine human connection is invaluable, and that we are fundamentally social beings who thrive on mutual support and shared experiences. When we share our burdens with others, they often become lighter, more manageable, and less overwhelming. This is not a sign of weakness or a character flaw, but rather a testament to our inherent interdependence and a recognition of the collective strength that we possess as social beings. So, let the hard-earned wisdom of others be the light that guides you out of the shadows of overthinking, illuminating the path forward and helping you to regain your clarity and peace of mind. With each open and honest conversation, you will likely find the puzzle of overthinking becoming easier and easier to solve, not because the inherent problems are any less complex, but because you're no longer trying to solve them in isolation. This principle is about recognizing the limitations of your own perspective and seeking guidance and wisdom from others to break free from the cycle of overthinking. Mastering the art of mental tranquility. We've explored 10 key strategies for taming the mind's tempest and conquering the debilitating effects of overthinking. These include visualizing overthinking as an external force, refocusing your energy on the present moment, embracing impermanence, creating a worry period, breaking down overwhelming thoughts, shifting your perspective to gratitude, focusing on effort rather than outcome, practicing voluntary discomfort, reflecting on the transience of life, and seeking wisdom from outside yourself. It's crucial to remember that these strategies are not a one-size-fits-all solution. The key is to experiment with each technique and find what resonates most effectively with your individual needs and personality. Cultivating your own happiness and emotional stability makes you more resilient and less susceptible to the negative effects of overthinking. Remember, it's essential to value yourself and have the courage to walk away from situations that don't serve your well-being. This isn't just about alleviating anxiety. It's about cultivating a more balanced, purposeful, and fulfilling life. By embodying these principles, you transform from a victim of your thoughts into a master of your mind. As this exploration concludes, we encourage you to take these insights to heart, reflect on them deeply, and make a personal commitment to actively incorporate them into your daily life. Now you're ready to reclaim your mental space and embark on a journey towards lasting inner peace and resilience. This is not a destination, but a continuous process of self-discovery and personal growth. By consistently applying these principles, You will not only transform your relationship with your thoughts, but also unlock a profound sense of inner strength and unwavering composure. Embrace your power to control your mind and create a life filled with clarity, purpose, and unshakable tranquility. A summary of essential Stoic strategies. To reinforce your understanding and guide you on your path towards mastering your thoughts, here's a concise summary of the 10 essential Stoic strategies. Externalize your thoughts. Visualize overthinking as an external force to create distance and perspective. Focus on the present. Refocus your energy on the present moment to break free from the cycle of worry. Embrace impermanence. Practice letting go of thoughts and emotions, recognizing their fleeting nature. Schedule your worries. Create a designated worry period to contain and manage your anxieties. Break down the overwhelm. Transform overwhelming thoughts into small, actionable steps to regain control. Cultivate gratitude. Shift your perspective to gratitude to appreciate the good in your life. Value effort over outcome. Focus on your effort and intentions, rather than obsessing over results. Embrace discomfort. Practice voluntary discomfort to build resilience and reduce fear of the unknown. Contemplate transience. Reflect on the fleeting nature of life to prioritize what truly matters. Seek external wisdom. Consult others for guidance and perspective to break free from mental loops. These 10 principles, when consistently applied, will empower you to take control of your thoughts, reduce anxiety, and cultivate a more peaceful and fulfilling life. Remember, this is a journey of continuous learning and self-improvement. Embrace these strategies, experiment with them, and adapt them to fit your unique needs and circumstances. By doing so, you will unlock a newfound sense of inner strength, resilience, and unwavering peace of mind.